Good morning, everyone. It's January 10th. We'll get the morning market rundown. Let's get into this price action. So we mapped out in our last scenario that we had off yesterday, but we were looking for a rally back above the week to date volume weighted average price, which is this green line, for it to pull back and that 5-day moving average right here that was declining. You can see here declining. We wanted to see that 5-day moving average as it pulls back, catch this bounce, start to enter in this area with a stop under there, giving us evidence that the 5-day moving average is flat to rising. We're starting to trade above the week to date volume weighted average price, and we're above that 2-day. We rallied right up to that 2-day VWAP and failed. The news came out, but news or not, the sums of the declines are greater than the advances over the past 5 days due to the slope of this 5-day moving average. So it just gives you an indication of the environment you're in, right? The sums of the 20 days on the daily time frame, right? It's flat to declining here. The sums over the past 20 days are starting to be greater. The declines as we get declining slope. So we still have the rising 50-day moving average and rising 200-day moving average intact. We're holding this volume weighted average price from the handoff of that August 5th sell-off. We got the handoff of that September 6th, and we're holding that level. And the more times levels are tested, the more likely they are to fail. So we have 1, 2, 3. This is a third test. So maybe this is where we get a little bounce up and start to undercut. And we see this anchor VWAP from the 6th of August come into play. We do have that 200-day moving average, but we'll just take it one level at a time. We got this retracement of 6.8% with coinciding with this VP, coinciding with this VWAP. And you can see that VWAP. This is last year's volume weighted average price that acted as a key level. So if we look at this year's volume weighted average price, right, we're trading underneath it, right? We got year to date is black. It's right here, 490.79. So we're underneath the year to date. We're trading under. So the average buyer for the year is currently losing. So let's dive into this intermediate time frame. And like we just talked about, we're looking for this to map up for the long situation, or we're looking to, if you're aggressive short sell, you're looking to get this push in, start to get back under daily VWAP, then you could short this with a stop under here, and you could start to short this as it breaks down. Whoops, wrong tool. There you go. So today, we'll see if we could get a little bounce back into that 2-day VWAP, maybe that 588, maybe even that 3-day. Then we get that failed move, fast move, back down to this 574 area. This 5-day moving average will just now start to act as resistance here in this area as it's declining. So just keep in mind that 5-day moving average now. And that is the SPY situation. So maybe perhaps undercuts a little bit down to this 580, starts to get short sellers really excited for the day. And then maybe that's where we could actually bounce later in the day, rally back into that 2-day VWAP, break below the daily VWAP, just like we did in this, if you look at the app right here, rally back up, and then we start to get back below the daily VWAP, and then the news came out, we break down. So that's a SPY situation. We'll see if this plays out. It's not a prediction. It's just a potential scenario that maybe we get this bounce right away to the 2-day VWAP, get some people stuck, rip them off, rally back into that VWAP, and then start fading. The 5-day moving average is guilty to proven innocent. So we got the QQQ. Same thing here. We had the situation where we're looking to get back above this week to date volume weighted average price. Here's the 5-day moving average here, this gold line. So this 5 day would ideally be looking like that for our long situation to give us some interest. Rally to a new high, above a flat to rising 5 day, pull back, don't buy the dip, buy that strength, and we could have a stop. But that didn't play out. We could see that this situation played out where we rallied right into that month to date, right into that 5 day moving average right here. Broke back below, we held the daily VWAP, and then the news came out this morning and we're breaking down into this situation. So perhaps we're going to come back down, get some further downfall down to this 505, down to this 499, this VWAP from the 6th of September, which we could see very similar pattern to the SPY here. So let's get last year's volume weighted average price on this chart just so we have it. We'll make it that blue color. So you can see that last year's volume weighted average price undercut it a little bit, rallied back above, caught a trend, undercut it a little bit, rallied back above. So if we look at this year's volume weighted average price of 517.76, then 517.52, we're trading underneath it. So right now it's the inverse relationship where it was acting as support last year. Currently, the VWAP has been a place of supply. So that's the key plan that we're looking for today. We talked about perhaps maybe this rallies wants to go fly down to 505, fly down to 500, get shorts really excited and aggressive, then it could bounce on them, and right, or perhaps maybe since we just fell down, 2% or so, not 2%, but since that last trough, last peak, we're down, 1.25%. So maybe this wants to flush out, and then in this area, down in this, 505 area, 505.30 could perhaps be a little area where it bounces, but key levels are right here in the chart, right? We're breaking the 50-day moving average, trading underneath this VP is a node right now, the volume profile shelf. So ideally, maybe we're going to gravitate back down to this 505, like we just discussed, and back down to that VWAP from this September 6th low. Hopefully this was helpful.